Hey everyone, welcome to Fridays with Steve. I'm Steve Thompson. I'm the Vice President of Solutions and Alliances here at Apex, and I'm coming to you today from snowy Minnesota. Wasn't quite the storm they promised, but I know here in Minnesota, my friends in Michigan, quite a bit of snow. And so last couple days, everybody around the house, nobody going anywhere, and it was actually kind of fun. Growing up with snow days, they were always kind of something special, right? So but happy to be with you now to embrace another topic that I've been excited to talk about, really in this Teams calling, dial plans, contact centers, voice, converged collaboration space. And today we're going to talk specifically some things about contact centers. I've got a couple of partner examples. I've got some high level data flows. I'll offer a few thoughts on where this can fit, and we'll wrap it up with talking a little bit about our capability in the space and how we can help. And so let's talk about call center experiences and customer expectations. Call centers are one of those things that do make you as a customer, as a consumer of voice services. It does make you a little bit special, right? I joke with many of our customers when we talk about calling plans and turning voice on in Teams that you might have to give up on that notion that you're a special unicorn. We went through the experience, discovered we're not a special unicorn. Couple simple IVRs, couple simple call queues and groups, couple simple dial plans, couple simple rules, all within Teams, right? There's kind of a 80-20 or a 90-10 rule with the customers we talk to, where most of their stuff falls within capabilities. There's still a few interesting outliers, something like an analog device, for example, but they're working on it. And the other one is call center, and I know Microsoft has made some announcements sort of in the dynamic space, along with Teams, around some plans that they have to go there. There's a lot of partners in this space. I'll talk about 8x8 specifically. They're a great partner of ours, and that's really the play right now. And frankly, it's like a lot of other things in Teams where you can bring in that best of breed provider, right? Maybe you're a ServiceNow customer, or maybe you prefer Asana or Trello for project management. You're able to bring those experiences and integrate them, with Teams. Contact center is a little bit of the same way, and so we'll talk about those options. Like I said, I've got the granddaddy of all build slides through this with some old school architecture flow and so forth. Kind of fun for me, and so we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about a little bit of the build out, how we can test these things, how we can partner with different folks. I've got a video that I'll talk to with one partner. I'll mention a couple that we like to work with, bringing contact centers to you. This does make you special, right? I remember when the absolute sort of forefront of innovation was the fact that Southwest Airlines was doing their call centers from home. I don't know if you remember this. It's got to be at least 10 years ago now, maybe 10 plus, where they would tout how they were hiring customer service call center kinds of employees and not putting them in a hot, steamy room with fluorescent lights, but instead they were working from home. They were logging in when they were available, and just how innovative that is. All of us kind of have that capability now. It's a very different world than my first job working at Target, corporate headquarters here in Minneapolis, and you'd go down to the 5th floor and there were dozens of people in cubes, and that was the help desk for both corporate and stores. And there were, we used to call them dotty boards, with current call queues and statuses and all these different devices. And it was a strange world for me, coming from client server. Now those folks are really knowledge workers and interacting with a lot of different systems and really, using tools that we're all using on a day-to-day basis, but just using them for a different end. And so, contact centers have really changed. Whether it's, some of the inbound pieces where email, chat, Twitter, Facebook, even Instagram kinds of things. One of the things that I've always thought is that, there's a lot of speculation on, what is the business around Twitter. And I've heard some pretty smart people say that what Twitter has invented is the world's greatest platform for customer service, right? You just need to harness it as a way to meet your customers where they are. And so lots of those things have changed, really multi-channel, inputs, a lot of specialization on the backside, being able to route things, have easy access to folks, and you think about Teams, you think about that whole, posting a question in a channel and whoever's available can grab it and answer it, right? Everybody sees it. Everybody sees the answer. Everybody sees that it hasn't been answered, integrating with those tools to really get to the experts is important. And then when we collapse this infrastructure, we're really able to capture and really better correlate insights. One of the things that I love about positioning Teams with customers is being able to show them the analytics and the insights on the backside, right? From consumption and usage to growth to parts that aren't utilized. Having that integrated with your contact centers can be really, really really powerful. And I'm just sort of thinking about it now. I apologize. I should probably put $1 in the swear jar every time I say call center. It's really a contact center, right? We've moved beyond the bank of phones and logging in and logging out of your phone system to show that you're available. And so they're not a silo, right? They're not hidden on the 5th floor, in the multi-foods tower in downtown Minneapolis any longer. They're really integrated into the business. Everybody can be, accessed via these inbound channels. And then once that comes in, then there's easy access across the business to get, that resolution. We'll see. I've got a video to show you of one partner's integration where, we can pop up, that CRM record. We can access a system, in parallel and bring those kinds of things up. Hopefully eliminating that delay when you get a robocall while it's trying to, I got to find someone. I got to get the information in front of them. 2-3 seconds into it, I'm out. Right. So having that quick integration, that automated integration, that one view of the customer, because it's integrated into the systems you use, right? Obviously Dynamics and whether it's finance or CRM, as well as Teams, as well as email, having all those integration points when a customer calls is super, super powerful. And it's an important piece of a lot of businesses, right? And so there's really sort of 3 modes to think of, right? Just a simple connection that brings Teams and phone systems sort of side by side, right? And gives you the ability to work in Teams, to work in the phone system, in parallel. Then there's that extend piece, right? Let's use the extensibility in the partner platforms, in the Teams platform, in the phone and voice interaction, and really make it a complete experience, even if it still is, coming from different systems. And then that power level, right? Where you're using the extensibility, the partner is using the Callings SDK and really giving that integrated feel, that sort of app right in Teams sort of feel to it. And again, I actually tried to track down, some slides and some information. I know briefly there was a splash with Microsoft's own entry into this space. I'm a recovering FTE. I worked at Microsoft for over a decade, and it's one of those things where there's a promise of seamless integration and obviously sort of one throat to choke and things like that. But then there's the time value of money, right? There's moving on a solution now. There's being able to deploy something that satisfies needs now and into the future versus waiting. And that's something we help customers navigate all the time, right? I made the example of analog devices in cloud-based voice, and that's another one where it's like, well, hey, you can wait, it's on the roadmap, or there are partner solutions for this. Again, thinking of my friends at 8x8, where we can move now. And that's a balancing act, and that's something that we love to help customers navigate. And so in that connect mode, I'm just going to kind of walk through building this slide. So we've got a customer out. They use the phone network. They come in. We can interact with them. You can obviously see the headset indication on the stick figure, meaning, hey, we're talking to this guy via voice. But then we've got connectivity, into the Teams agent, through the Graph API. And being able to get information like presence, right? Something like that, as well as, routing it through a Teams backend to get to what we're calling here an informal agent, right? There's sort of that maybe second level support, or, hey, I need to go find someone in the organization to help with this problem. Let me put you on hold. Leveraging Teams and the Teams voice and collaboration infrastructure to go ahead and do that, right? And so this is a good example of how this works. We've got it routed to the call center, routed to an agent, and then we can do that SIP transfer and do it internally, and get it over to someone within the Teams environment. I didn't mean to go by that quite so quick. And be able to leverage the Teams infrastructure, to transfer, to bring that person in. Kind of like a hybrid mode, right? Sort of, best of breed solution when it comes to the calling and the contact center dynamics, as well as leveraging the investment you've made in Teams, for collaboration, for expertise, for all of those kinds of things. And so an example is sort of Genesis and their ability to, leverage something like, so presence, we've got, photo, those things are coming from Teams. We've got the ability to, interact with voice, right within, their application, their web-based application, but then we can turn around and interact with the Teams infrastructure that you already have built out. So yeah, a lot of times this isn't a greenfield kind of thing. A customer service department doesn't wake up one day and be like, well, I think we should have a contact center. You're probably coming from somewhere. And again, this is where we love to help customers thinking about, what does hybrid operations look like? What does migration look like? And so then when we talk about extend, similar sort of work, but you can see that the contact center solution, rather than engaging with the end agent, directly, actually, routes its interaction to and through Teams, and we've got that third-party app right within Teams, right? And so, even though the contact center solution is still driving the capability, is still handling that incoming call, we're using Teams to sort of bring that person to bear, using things like, again, like availability. Now we can transfer over to other people in Teams. We can also direct route information, direct route these calls, and send them to informal agents on the back end as well. And so the key move here is the guy with the headset, moves from being a sort of direct, not exactly in Teams, consumer, to being someone, behind Teams, but Teams is still relying on the contact center solution being out in front of it. And so, just a quick demo. I'm going to turn the audio off. And so, a Microsoft partner named Enghouse has got kind of a quick walkthrough. You can see that the Teams is ringing, right? We're actually going ahead and grabbing this call, via a Teams answer, but I'm getting their capability manifested, as you see here, right within Teams. And so this is that mode where we've got partner software, we've got a contact center solution that is working right within Teams, and we can also do those things that we talked about, like, hey, let's splash in information, right out of CRM. So this is Microsoft CRM. Bring that up in front. That way, everybody's working from the same sheet of music, interacting with a customer, and capturing it, the same place we capture sales information or marketing information or contact information. We're getting all of that consolidated, in a meaningful way. Still have the integration with things like Presence, as well as having the native tools over on their side of the house, where we can say, look at call recordings and things like that. And so this is that hosted experience, kind of right within Teams from the lovely folks at Anghouse, right? And then, Landis, this is actually a favorite of ours. They kind of feel a bit like a company similar to ours. They made a big bet on Teams, and they do their work right within Teams. It's one of the solutions we like to talk about with our customers, in that if they've really embraced Teams in a meaningful way in their environment, and they want to live within Teams, Landis is a great solution. It kind of comes from that same world that we're all born into. And right now it's really a partner story, right? And so we talked about Anghouse, we talked about Landis, um, and I'm going to talk here in a second about 8x8. And these are certified partners, right? There's a link here. Contact me if you want this presentation, or if you want that link to kind of review some of those things that are out there. But they go through a certification program, much like Teams, devices and things like that, where they get certified. And carrying that certification badge gives you the confidence that these things they're going to work, they're going to work well, they're going to be reliable. And they all have different strengths, right? 5.9 strengths are maybe different than Landis's strengths. And one of the things I encourage you to do is maybe even before you start down this road, is capturing those things that are truly important to the business, or important enhancements to the business. Oftentimes I see customers start sort of their partner evaluation journey with a too blank sheet of paper. Whether it's a workshop or an assessment from a partner like Apex, or other partners that are out there, having them sort of facilitate well, what's really important to us, right? What are the business needs? And going through that exercise can be super powerful. Excuse me. I need a big giant sneeze button, I think, to just real quickly and easily cut out the microphone when it's time to sneeze. And so, we love to help in this space talking about partners, especially because, we've got partnerships, and 8x8 is really one of our key partnerships when it comes to UCaaS, right? And the fact that they can also bring contact center to the table really makes them a preferred partner of ours. They do a great job of doing some things at the calling plan and the direct routing level that are very, very cool, as well as having a very, very robust contact center offering. We have a key partnership with them, and love bringing them to the table. Getting that native, experience here, here it's ringing in Teams, my history's in Teams. At the same time, I've got a robust web client from the folks at 8x8 when it comes to contact center. Their history is really as a full service provider in the UCaaS market. They're a leader in that space. And so, not that I want anyone to necessarily, or at least in my customer space, is, you can adopt UCAS without adopting Teams, right? There are multiple solutions that give you, web-based or app-based calling with cloud voice, out in the market right now. What we love about 8x8 is they've also made a focused effort when it comes to Teams, whether it's the contact center integration that we're talking about today, or whether it's their plans specifically designed for being that backhaul partner when it comes to voice, but everything end user does is within Teams, right? Don't use their client at all, don't use their apps at all. From an end user perspective, my phone is in Teams, but from an IT admin chair, you're using the 8x8 backhaul, and you've got some different capabilities there. Something like international dialing, and the international plans are very, very robust with 8x8. They've also embraced it in a smart way, especially sitting in the chair I sit in, which is they've acknowledged that Teams licensing is a little bit different, right? Hey, you're using our back end, voice services, but you're not using our apps, you're not using our tools, and there's a bit of a price break or a differentiated pricing, let's say, when it comes to using Teams as the front end with your there with your users. And one other plug is really around the ability to mix and match. One of the reasons 8x8 is a great fit for us and for a number of our customers is that you can mix and match licensing, right? Hey, I've got the Teams only people. I got some folks that need other stuff. I got some analog devices. I got 9 people in a contact center. Awesome, right? In Microsoft talk, you don't have to buy E5 for everybody, right? You can buy some E5, you can buy some F1, you can buy some M licenses, you can mix and match all of that good stuff. And so, they really go a long way in improving and taking their platform to the next level. And honestly, if you're already an 8x8 customer, I'd love to talk to you about the Teams piece, because we've run into 1 or 2 customers that sort of these two worlds weren't necessarily talking to each other until we got into the mix, right? Again, thinking back to my Target days, I think I've used this one before, so my apologies, but it's like I sat on the 29th floor and the voice guys sat on the 5th floor, and we never talked to each other, right? That's still a little bit of the mode with some organizations to this day. The challenge being is that so much of this has collapsed together that it's really in everybody's best interest to sort of see collaboration as a unified thing. Voice is an important part, and you want to make sure that you're delivering that experience to your end users. So that's a little bit about contact center and Teams. It's just a wet your whistle kind of take on the state of affairs when it comes to contact center. We're here to help. As always, I love advertising. My name and number to go ahead and reach out to me directly, sthompson@apexdigital.com. If you're currently a customer, just reach out to your AE. And then, our website full of resources. Happy to work with and talk to anyone. So as I wrap up, I'm actually going to circle back to the slide I inserted here, which is speaking of 8x8, speaking of voice in Teams. I'm not sure quite why my voice is going that high when I say this, but we have an event coming up where we're really looking to engage with customers and have the opportunity to talk about these solutions. You'll get a chance to meet the experts, both the experts around Apex, the experts around 8x8 and calling, as well as the experts around brown liquids in fancy jars and fancy bottles. And so we're holding this event at Valentine Distilling coming up March 15th, if you're watching this ahead of time or if you're watching this live. And it's as simple as going out to apexdigital.com/Valentine and getting yourself on the list. And, we'd love to have a little bit of fun with our customers or anyone we haven't met yet. and have the opportunity to talk a little bit about solutions in this space. Thanks to our great partners at 8x8 and my marketing team for investing in this event. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it so much. I accidentally timed my visit to the home office in Detroit for this week, and so you can come meet me in person. Signatures and autographs will be $5. But you can probably talk me down to zero. Maybe I'll even pay you. Who can tell? But would love to meet new folks. Have the opportunity to talk a little bit about Apex and talk about our great partners at 8x8 at the event. So take a look. If you're local, if you're in this space looking for answers, looking for help, looking for information, we'd love to meet you and have the opportunity to talk to you at Valentine Distilling coming up in March. So once again, reach out to me, stThompson@apexdigital.com. We're here to help. We solve, we don't sell. And I'm excited to participate in the event here in a few weeks and have the opportunity to meet lots of great customers, both new and old. So with that, thanks for joining us on Fridays with Steve. Reach out to the team with anything you need, and I'll see you next time.